If you're trying to figure out what anime is actually worth watching right now, this video has you covered. There's a lot dropping this year, but only a few are truly worth your time. Top trending new anime you should be watching in 2026, and this year is stacked with some of the most hyped releases we've seen in a while, so let's get straight into it. Number 1, Gachiakuta. Gachiakuta is easily one of the most anticipated new anime, and it takes place in a world where the rich throw away both trash and people into a massive abyss. And after being falsely accused, the main character Rudo is thrown into this nightmare and forced to survive in a brutal environment filled with monsters and dangerous individuals. And what makes this series stand out immediately is how raw and gritty everything feels like. This is not a clean or polished world at all. It actually feels harsh and unforgiving, which makes it way more immersive than your typical anime setting. And what I really like about this is the power system, because objects gain meaning and power based on their history, which makes every fight feel creative instead of repetitive. And honestly, this has the potential to blow up, especially if the animation delivers, because the concept alone is already super unique. So if you're into darker anime with strong world building and a revenge-driven story, this is definitely one you should not skip. Number 2, Demons of the Shadow Realm. Demons of the Shadow Realm already has a huge advantage because it comes from the creator of Fullmetal Alchemist, which means the storytelling is most likely going to be on another level, and the story follows twins who were separated at birth and raised in completely different environments, but are still connected through mysterious beings known as demons. And as the story unfolds, you start to see how their lives are tied together in ways that go way deeper than expected. And what makes this really interesting is how it mixes emotional storytelling with action and mystery at the same time. So you're not just watching fights, you're actually invested in what's happening and where the story is going. And honestly, if this adaptation is done right, this could easily become one of the standout anime of the year, because it has that perfect balance of story depth and hype moments. So this is definitely one to keep your eye on. Number 3, Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days is one of those anime that just feels fun to watch, but still goes insanely hard when it needs to, because it follows a former legendary hitman who gave up his dangerous life to settle down and run a small store. But the twist is that his past doesn't just disappear, it keeps coming back to him, which leads to these crazy situations where he has to fight while still trying to maintain his normal life. And what makes this so entertaining is the contrast between his calm everyday personality and his insane combat skills, because one second he's just chilling and the next he's taking down enemies effortlessly. And the fight choreography in this series is expected to be really creative, which will make it even more enjoyable to watch. And honestly, if you like anime that balances action, comedy, and a bit of wholesome energy, this is definitely one you'll enjoy. Number 4, JoJo Bizarre Steel Ball Run. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run is something fans have been waiting for a very long time, and this part completely changes the formula by setting the story in a massive cross-country horse race across America. And while that might sound simple at first, it quickly turns into something way more complex, with hidden motives, intense rivalries, and a unique power system that adds layers to every encounter. And the story follows Johnny Joestar and Gyro as they compete in this dangerous race, but along the way they get involved in something much bigger than they expected. And what really makes this part stand out is the character development and storytelling, because it's not just about fights, it actually builds its characters in a meaningful way, and a lot of people consider this one of the best parts in the entire JoJo series. So if this gets a high quality adaptation, it could easily be one of the biggest anime releases of the year. Number 5, Wistoria Wand and Sword Season 2. Wistoria Wand and Sword Season 2 continues the story of a main character who lives in a world where magic is everything, but he can't use magic at all, which already puts him at a huge disadvantage. So instead of giving up, he trains physically and focuses on sword combat to climb the ranks and prove himself. And what makes this story so satisfying is that underdog element, because you actually see the effort and struggle it takes for him to improve. And Season 2 is expected to push things even further, with stronger enemies, bigger challenges, and more intense fights. And what I like about this series is that it doesn't just rely on the concept, it actually delivers on action and character growth. So if you enjoy seeing characters earn their progress instead of being overpowered from the start, this is definitely one worth watching. Number 6, Jack of All Trades Party of None. Jack of All Trades Party of None takes a very different approach compared to most fantasy anime, because instead of having a main character who is insanely strong or specialized in one thing, this character character is average at everything, which might sound boring at first, but it actually makes the story way more interesting because he has to rely on strategy, adaptability, and smart decisions to survive. And what makes this refreshing is that it breaks away from the usual overpowered main character trope and instead focuses on growth and creativity, and over time you start to see how useful versatility can actually be. And honestly, this could end up being a really underrated anime because it offers something different while still keeping that classic adventure feel. Number 7, Hell Paradise Season 2. Hell's Paradise Season 2 continues the story in one of the most dangerous and mysterious settings in anime, where characters are sent to a deadly island in search of the elixir of life. And what makes this series stand out is how intense everything feels, from the fights, to the atmosphere, to the characters themselves. And Season 2 is expected to go even deeper into the mysteries of the island, while raising the stakes with even stronger enemies and more brutal encounters. And what I really like about this anime is how it balances action with emotional moments, because you actually get attached to the characters and their struggles. So when things happen, it actually hits harder, and if you enjoyed the first season, this continuation is definitely something you don't want to miss. Number 8, Dead Account. Dead Account is one of the more unique entries on this list because it combines modern internet culture with supernatural elements, and the story follows a character who gets pulled into a world where digital grudges and online spirits become real threats. And what makes this concept stand out is how relevant it feels, because it connects real-world ideas with anime storytelling in a creative way. And this opens up a lot of possibilities for interesting conflicts and character development, and honestly, this could be one of those sleeper hits that catches people off guard because it's different but still has the potential to deliver strong action and story if done right. Number 9, Hell Mode. The hardcore gamer dominates in another world with garbage balancing. Hell Mode is exactly what it sounds like, because it follows a hardcore gamer who chooses the hardest difficulty setting when entering a new world, and instead of being overpowered right away, he actually struggles a lot and has to grind for everything, which makes his progress feel way more rewarding. And what makes this stand out from other isekai anime is that it focuses on effort, strategy, and progression instead of just giving the main character everything instantly. And if you enjoy watching characters slowly build their strength and overcome challenges step by step, this is definitely one you should check out because it gives that satisfying sense of growth that a lot of other series skip. So those are the top trending new anime you should be watching in 2026, and honestly this year is looking stacked with a lot of potential hits. So I want to know, which one are you most excited for, and if there's anything I missed, drop it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video and want more anime content like this, make sure you subscribe because there's a lot more coming. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't miss it, because the next list is going to be even better.